Okay, let's give it a couple seconds. I think we're live. We're checking sound. Everything good? Hey guys, how we doing? Krista, welcome back from Mexico again, your new
Hello.
favorite country.
Yes, yes.
All right, so here we go again, guys. It is Thursday. It is 1 p.m. Central Time. You guys do me a favor, let me know too. We're playing with some audio things here. But anyways, you are back again for another episode of Lunch Talk. Today we're going to talk about consistency. Is it the key to success? Krista's got 5 points. Is that right, Krista?
I'm ready.
5 points she's dropping for you guys today. We're going to be back in like 30 seconds. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome again to Lunch Talk Live. Talk to you soon. We're back.
All right, all right.
Okay, so Krista, real quick, talk to me. Tell me about your little vacay while you keep leaving us.
Man, I'm just living my best life, Rigo. That's
No,
all.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's just we grind so hard that we've got to take some time to check out, and I have really made that a priority in 2021. And so this was actually the first time, Rigo, since I have owned my business in 7 years, that I took a week where I literally did zero work, zero for 7 days. It felt so funky.
That's awesome. Well, I'll let you know when I get to enjoy that same experience.
When that happens.
Yeah, when that happens. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm really pumped about right now is as we were coming off, we just came off the back of a big event. You remember a couple weeks ago we were down in San Diego within our primary industry that we serve, the renewable energy industry, and it was really exciting actually to see, first off, for myself as a business owner, to see how many businesses were starting to come back, okay? And California being such a big spot in the news for how much it's been disrupted, it was really interesting to see that part of the world, the Coronado area, and to see so many people showing up at this event. It wasn't nearly as strong as it normally is, but it was a great kickstart to the year, and it got me excited about how we can bring other areas of skills and advice and things to our community, Krista, that we talk to. Because it just inspired me. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot, right? It doesn't always need to be some major thing. It was just one small element that just really got my mindset into a couple things, and I thought this is going to be a good year.
Yeah.
It's going to be powerful. So I've been thinking a lot about this, and I wanted to get into key success areas, like real mindset changing concepts when it comes to leadership and personal growth. So over the next few weeks, I haven't told you who they are yet, Krista.
Oh,
we've already got 2 of the 3 lined up. Really pumped about that. So for the next couple weeks, we're going to be bringing in some heat. And all through the rest of April, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing in a new series, okay? And so these are going to be effective sales and leadership series, and we're going to bring them into portions of it. We're going to bring in a mindset portion. We're going to talk about tactics and marketing skill sets and all these different elements, and we're going to be giving away some major secrets for those who attend. It's going to be that simple.
Yep.
This is free. We're going to be posting it, and we're going to be broadcasting in as many areas as we can, because we want to give you guys everything you need as you move into Q2 to be successful, whether you are a team leader, whether you're a member of a team, entrepreneur, intrapreneur, it doesn't matter. So I just kind of want to give you guys a couple, do a little promo on this, but more importantly, because I'm excited, and we're going to be putting in a lot of work on this, just like we did on our last series on the 11 principles that every leader should know, which, by the way, we have a bunch of stuff for that. if you guys attended that series, we have a ton of giveaways, and we'll have to make it easier for you guys to find. I don't know if everybody, it did take us a little bit.
Where do we put all the things?
There's always so much stuff going on. But I'm really excited about this one because, Krista, you work specifically with women who are looking to change 5, 10, 15, 20-year plus habits. Mm-hmm. And when you have to deal with the body, there's probably nothing harder next to finances to really see change in a immediate fashion. And so there really has to be a mindset and an element to how to create consistency and sticking to it. Now, we're going to get into a couple other things. I've got some great stuff here. We're going to get into a little bit of Einstein's compound theory, and we're going to look at how, looking at the aspect and concept of financials, when you look at a interest and what an interest does on the negative sense, how compounding, how it works against you. Imagine flipping that script and looking at just what it does when you make it work for you, not against you. And I think that's one of the things I myself am constantly falling subject to this, but I am allowing certain elements to work against me when all I have to do is literally flip that script and let it work for me and be patient in understanding that consistency, truly, I believe this, Krista, consistency truly is the key to success in everything.
And here's the thing too. We have so many tools at our disposal to aid us in consistency. And here's something else too, Rigo, is I am the queen of consistency. As a matter of fact, I just got a message in my DMs from a person that I've been DMing, and she said to me, "You are like a dog with a bone. Like you are so good at follow up, and follow up in your business, follow up in your life, follow up in your habits, follow up. That's consistency, right?" And so we can work at being really good at consistency. One of the things that I didn't realize was that I'm naturally a consistent person. When I set my brain to it, I naturally commit and become consistent to it. Not everybody is wired like that, and that's okay. So I've had to become a student of consistency, even though it comes naturally to me, to understand how to help other women who are not consistent. And so there are some really cool key little things and tools that we can use that are so simple that will aid us in our consistency and allow us to find that energy and that momentum towards what it is that we're wanting to be consistent in.
That's awesome. All right, so real quick, just want to take a quick second. Thank you guys for helping us out. It sounds like my mic is a little funky. Is that right?
Yeah, you do sound like you're in a bathroom.
All right. Well, Donnie, you were playing with the mic before we started.
You in trouble, Donnie?
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll take a look. Listen, if anyone else is seeing the same or hearing the same issues, let us know.
Poor Donnie.
Yeah, poor Donnie. Donnie's like, I don't know.
Not now, Dad.
Yeah, not now. So why don't we get into the 5 points that you use in your training? I love what you brought out.
Yeah.
Listen. This is something we can do a full series on just by itself.
Oh my gosh.
But
a full series on it.
Yeah, I mean we're talking like weeks.
Yeah.
So while we avoid that, let's let you, while we work on our sound issue, go ahead and get into these 5 points for us.
You got it. Yeah. Okay. So anytime that we're trying to be consistent, it's because we have a goal. There's something that we want to achieve in our consistency. And so we know that there is a goal or a bigger picture for our reason for being consistent. Okay. We're not going to go into goal setting today because that's not what this is about. It's about consistency. So we already have a goal. What I want to encourage you to have is a very clear goal. Okay. So you want to have a very clear goal. So once you have a very clear goal, now we want to work on that consistency, because if we're trying to be consistent at something, it's because we want something at the end of that consistency, right? So number one, the very first thing that I tell all of my clients when it comes to consistency and wanting to get to their typical weight loss goal is make it easy. and repeatable. So whatever habit, whatever you're trying to be consistent in, you want to make it easy. We don't want to flip your whole world upside down on day one when you're deciding that you want to be consistent. Okay. So for example, if you're trying to be consistent,
I'm sorry, we're having fun behind the scenes. You're on a run. I think we're good. We're talking about, you want to talk about consistency? Episode 36. We just pulled.
You sound so good now.
Yeah, I know. We pulled the most first time I've ever gone live. Like it was what, Donnie? No, you don't get to come in to explain.
He wants his time.
Okay, go ahead, Donnie. Come in to explain.
Come on, Donnie.
So what happened was.
No, come all the way in, buddy. Come all the way in.
You want the camera in?
Come all the way in. If you're going to do it, come all the way in.
So what happened was when we joined StreamYard, there's a lot of microphone options. That's being your input. It's normally supposed to default to my soundboard. It didn't. It defaulted to this little webcam I used. So that's why it sounded like a small box, because our microphone is a small box on top of my monitor.
On top of a monitor over in the soundboard.
And this webcam
area.
is like 15 years old.
So it just says how loud I am because I'm.
Yeah. So
I mean, you're
all right, Donnie. Thanks. Thank you for explaining. All right, make it easy and repeatable. We're back.
Back at it. We're gonna go ahead and edit that out for the replay.
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, on the replay, we're cutting all that out.
So
you're like 5 points, and she starts at 3. We're like, what? You're good, girl.
Easy,
live, baby. That's what I love about live.
It's live. Easy.
It's live.
Repeatable. So let's just say, Rigo, let's just say that you're like, hey, I want to do better. I want to start eating healthier. And that's your goal, right? It's clear. I want to start eating healthier. Okay, well, we have to get really clear. What does healthier look like, right? So let's just say that you want to be consistent in having a vegetable once a day, because right now you may have a vegetable, you may not have a vegetable. So we have to make it really, really easy. We're going to start with.
Can you help us understand, for those of us like myself, what is a vegetable?
What? Corn, potatoes was not a vegetable. So
I'm playing.
Cucumbers, celery, carrots,
greens, reds, oranges, yellows,
all the things,
crunchy,
gold.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. So you want it to be easy and repeatable. That's going to be key. If it's not easy and it's not repeatable, then you cannot do it consistently. And then here's the thing. We start there, we start easy, and then we level it up. So it's not like we just keep this easy, repeatable thing, and we don't ever challenge ourselves to go above it, but we want to get consistent with that first, right? Does that make sense, Rigo?
It does.
Make it easy and repeatable. Here's what I see people do, and it's the worst thing that you could do because it will absolutely put a wrench in your consistency off the bat. What people want to do is they come to me and they say, I want to lose weight and I want to get healthier. And so what do? They go join a gym. They start CrossFitting. They go completely vegan, and they like flip their entire world upside down in the desire to want to lose weight, which that's what they want to be consistent in. And I'm like, whoa. We don't need to go and change our entire world and now have 53 things that we're trying to be consistent in. Pick one and do one little thing that helps you move in that direction of consistency. And then,
this brings up a perfect opportunity for me to, Simon Sinek has a quote that I always loved when he talks about, because he talks a lot about this, right? He talks a lot about consistency. And one of the things I've come to understand is really this is an area where you have to be willing to commit yourself in the long term to a long-term goal and not so focused on a short-term effect. But one of the things I love, he says, is that it's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It is about consistency. And so, that's the element, right? Like, okay, I'm ready to get into it. I'm going to lose weight. One of the things I love, we haven't gotten into this conversation Donnie and I did the other day. And Donald is massively into fitness. It's something he loves. It's not just what he does to stay in shape. He loves fitness. And what I love about the conversation we had, this is where people get it wrong. It's okay, I'm going to go on this crash diet. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go buy new yoga pants, right? I'm going to get a personal trainer. I'm going to do everything versus how do I just start working on changing my habits? So
waking up earlier in the morning so that I make time for the gym.
purposely drinking a glass of water every 2 hours.
Yeah, right. So, and listen, it has to start there if you want it to snowball into other bigger things. Because listen, how many times have we rocked our world and flipped it upside down and it's lasted for 3 weeks? We can't hold on for that long. It's too much, too soon, too fast, right? And so consistency comes when we break it down and we make it simple and we make it repeatable. Then we can build on that consistency. We can level it up, right? So that's always what I encourage my clients to do. And here's the thing. This translates into business as well, right? So let's just say that you start an organic marketing strategy. If you want to be consistent in showing up, you cannot start with 53 things to do that you're trying to be consistent at. Pick one thing and make it repeatable, and then find systems and processes to simplify it so that it's even more repeatable, so that it takes less energy from you, right? You're not starting from ground zero every time that you try to implement something that you want to be consistent in. And so this translates business and nutrition and anything else that you want to show up and do consistently every single day.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because this is one of the biggest areas when we're working with our clients. You know, we work with them in an inbound marketing, inbound sales, inbound lead strategy. It's when you say inbound lead, people go, what's inbound leads? It's a organic process of drawing attention and getting consumers, customers, whether you're attracting for recruitment or you're doing this for growing in your market, the process is the same. It's drawing attention in and having them come to you, not going to them. And so the way you do that is you create value. Well, how do you create value? You have to create trust. How do you create trust? By creating attention. And that is done over time. Mm-hmm. And this is the area where I think we live in a time, Christian, where we have so many things available to us so quickly. I talk about this all the time because I still find myself astonished that I can get on the internet and find whatever I want. Yeah. Like if I want to learn something, YouTube and the internet, I know they're kind of the same, but you know what I mean? Like some type of a way to find a video. Someone's already done it, and it's crazy. Like I'm so grateful for all these people that decided, I'm going to show you how to do this. I decided to record it, put it on YouTube. And now I'm like, how do I change out this coil in my dryer? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Save myself a couple $100 from calling in a technician. Right. And it's all because when we look at time, right, consistency and habit over time create change.
Yep.
It's over time.
And so here, think about this too. I love what you just said. I wrote it down. Trust is built over time. Mm-hmm. And nothing is more true than your own internal self-trust. When you are consistent, consistency is built over time as well. And when you have consistency over time, you actually build that trust within yourself. And so a lot of my mamas and a lot of my weight loss clients, they have broken that trust that they have within themselves to show up and do things that they say they're going to do. So what you just talked about was we build trust over time, and we lose trust by breaking that habit of showing up and doing what we said we were going to do. And we break that trust within ourselves. Consistency is one of the greatest repairs for lost trust. Now, it can go both ways too, right? If we consistently suck and are mean to ourselves and bad to ourselves and don't keep our promises, that trust is broken.
We're going to go back. You just said something powerful. Consistency over time is the number one way to build lost trust.
Yeah.
How did you say that? Did I say that right?
No, you're right. Consistency over time is the best healer for lost trust, but it has to be good consistency, because if we use consistency poorly, that is how we break trust. Because most people, if you think about it, most people are not all, are pretty forgiving when we don't show up 100% of the time. But over time, when we don't show up the way that we say we're going to,
when we're consistently non-consistent.
Inconsistent. Yes.
Inconsistent. There you go. There you go. Okay.
It breaks trust. But the opposite is also true. When you are consistently consistent, you build trust in a good way. Right. And so a lot of times when we look at our businesses, when we look at our goals, when we look at our families, it's our consistency will tell us how we're showing up. Are we showing up good? Are we showing up bad? Right?
Yeah. You know what's crazy is the data shows it, right?
Mhm.
You know, when and we, you know, you are also in the area of fitness, mindset, habits. I mean, this is who you are.
Mhm.
And I think it's interesting because when I look at where I am right now in certain areas of my life, and let's say my body, let's point that out. I am not in the place that I was at a certain time or where I would like to be, but I've come to understand very clearly that I'm the only one who can control that. And that can only be done over time with consistency in regards to how I value that. Now we're going to get into that's a whole nother conversation as we start to, because here's the deal, you guys, I tell you this all the time. I'm bringing topics and conversations that I need in my life that are going to strengthen me to make me a better father, husband, leader, business owner, client, mentor, you name it. How can I serve my clients better is I'm going to get better. And how do I do that? I'm going to bring these topics out and I'm going to put myself on stage for you guys. That's why we do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So my point 3, Rigo, ties right into that. So before we get to point 3, I want to talk about point 2.
Okay.
Okay. So once we know what it is that we want to be consistent with and we've made it simple, now we have to have a plan. And there's so many little tools that we can have at a plan for a plan. So think about what it is that you want to do and then find technology that will help you be consistent. Listen, y'all, did you know, friends, you have 60,000 thoughts in a day, 60,000 thoughts. And you hear how fast Rigo and I speak. We probably have like 150.
Yeah, we probably got like 160,000.
I'm like 60. Okay, but here's the deal. Can you remember 60,000 thoughts from yesterday? No.
Impossible. No, I don't even know if Chris, I can't even remember a thought from 5
And
minutes.
I got 3, and I'm pretty sure 2 of them, my children were annoying me. That's what I got from yesterday. Okay. That's all I got. So use technology to your advantage when you are planning for consistency. So here's one of the tools that I give my clients.
Yeah, I was about to say, give me some examples here.
Yeah. Okay. So here's technology. You're wanting to be more consistent about drinking water. Guess what you can find on your phone? A water app that reminds you every 20 minutes to take a drink. Done. You want to be consistent.
Isn't that kind of sad though? But like,
I mean, sad or hey, we're super fortunate because that wasn't around.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's
right.
Okay.
So, reminders. If I were to open up listen, this was not planned. I'm just going to show you. If I were to open up my alarms, how many alarms do you see? I actually just cleaned them up. I have 7 alarms right now in my phone because I'm not going to remember 60,000 things that I need to do. So if you are like, I want to go to the gym at noon, set 3 alarms. Hey, sister, in 30 minutes, you're going to grab your gym shoes and go to the gym. Hey, sister, 15 minutes, your butt needs to be in the car. And I put that in the description. Get your booty in the car, right? Hey, sister, your butt is at the gym, right? And I click.
You know what? I'm surprised you don't do like little video. I could see you doing your own little videos for yourself or little audio messages. Yo,
yeah,
girl,
what's wrong with you? Get in the car. So set your alarms. If people tell me all the time, I just can't remember. Well, that's weird. Did you know you can set up to 70 alarms in your phone on an iPhone? 70. Remind yourself 70 times.
Shut up.
I swear to you, you can set 70. I actually researched it and looked it up once upon a time because I was like, how many alarms can I have on in my phone?
Paul says there's an app for everything. He's right. Paul's got an app for hiring people.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. So use technology in your plan to set you up for success. You can set reminders. You can be pinged. Listen, we're busy. We got a lot going on. And sometimes we need help. And there's help in that phone goes everywhere with you. Don't pretend like it doesn't and set yourself up for success in that way. So your plan is going to be important. Okay. So keep it easy. Number 1. Number 2, have a plan and use technology to help you show up and be consistent. Okay. I'm not as consistent as I am because I let my brain do all of the work. I have my environment sets me up for success. That's tip number 4. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, okay, good. Because one of the things we're going to get into in this new leadership series is going to be talking about the environment that we set up around us.
Yes.
To ensure we have the success.
Yes.
But yes, get into that again. Number 3.
Okay, so number 3 is mindset. Okay, number 3 is mindset. Listen, we have to, I had this conversation with my clients yesterday. Your want has to be in alignment with what you are doing. We cannot want on one hand and do something completely different in the other. The two will never meet. Okay, if we want over here something, that's high, we really want it, and our action is down here, they will never run into each other ever. That you will never get to where you want to go. So what you want and what you are doing has to be in alignment. And how does that happen? It happens through your brain. Okay, if you are constantly beating yourself up, if you are constantly telling yourself that you can't, you are out of alignment with what you are doing. We have to manage the brain. We have to talk to ourselves differently than we ever have before so that we can be consistent. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Don't let your brain get in the way. We have to, like we just said, there are thoughts in your brain that do not serve you. I'm fat, I'm gross, I'm disgusting, I'm lazy, it'll never work for me, I'm fat. Those thoughts are never going to get you to where you want to go. So we have to become observers of our thoughts, our emotions, kick out the ones that don't serve us. They just hold us back, Rigo. They don't push us forward. And we start elevating the thoughts that do. That creates a mental living room that you live in. That's your mental environment. And we need that mental environment to serve us and to push us to where we want to go. If our living room of our brain is messy and cluttered, and your goal is to be, organized and cleaned up, it's not going to happen. If your goal is to lose weight and the living room of your mind is telling you you're fat, you're gross, eat the Oreos, nobody cares about you, you can't do it, it's not going to happen. So
Oreos are delicious.
I mean, they are, but did you know that a serving is like...
I don't know. Nope.
So
nope.
Our brain, what we want.
We're friends. Don't ruin that.
I know. Look, I'm trying to skip
friends. We're friends. Don't ruin that. I'm just telling you.
Leah says, getting your mind right is key.
Yeah, absolutely.
1000%. Your brain will be the one. It is the only thing that will knock you off of your consistency.
So real quick, before we get into that mindset, again, whole nother topic, but what are some resources we can offer right now for somebody who's looking? I know of a couple books, you and I both talk about these, but what are some of the ways that we can help right now to help someone say, okay, like, there's a lot of things that we just want. So make it easy.
Yeah.
Right. And repeatable. So how do you make it easy and repeatable? That's a bit of a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. And because you could overthink it when you talk about plan and using technology. So I use technology for many things. Funny enough, when it comes to myself, technology is a crutch for me.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't help me. And I have to use things that are tangible.
Okay.
All right. Because I work it right. But I understand that, which is why, like, we're getting ready and I'm like, vision boarding and things like that. I was just reading an article yesterday on this. It was actually pretty powerful. I got to remember his name. I'm going to find him. This guy's amazing. And he talks, I actually reached out. Hey, if you're watching, I'm trying to get him as a guest. This guy's like a big deal. He's a neuroscientist and out of Stanford. And if you're watching, I really, really want you on the show because this guy fascinates me. If you guys have heard me talk about my 3-year-old, Timothy, he's blowing my mind. Watching a young mind do the things he's doing and watching his brain works has really made me start to dig deeper into trying to understand my own because, it's like when Donald was born, he looked like a silverback. He came out, he was like 10 plus pounds. And if you met my wife, she's not very big. So here comes this full grown human, and I realized, oh, wow, like that explains a lot with my structure. As I watched all my boys born, I started realizing that a lot of my body type is genetic in how we're built. Okay. So you start to realize, okay, I need to change the way I do things if I want to get in shape. I start to look at the way the mind works. I don't know about you guys, but as a parent, my children really are like windows into understanding myself, right?
Yeah.
As younger people. And so when I look at how I have to make changes, and I look at how I'm going to make it easy, how I'm going to plan, how I'm going to change the mindset, I'm coming to realize that we need to find solutions in each step so that we're really not overthinking it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know you're saying don't overthink it, make it easy, but just that step alone sometimes can be the overthinking process.
Oh, totally. I mean, we can. Somebody said to me the other day, I realized that I self-sabotage and overthinking. Like that's my drug of choice. My drug of choice. And we call this buffering. Like we all buffer on things, right? Like we have an emotion, and instead of feeling the emotion, we buffer on other things. And she said, overthinking things is my drug of choice for not taking an action. It's almost permission to not do the thing that I want to do. And that's a coping mechanism, right?
So Leah just dropped something. She said, stop overthinking, 23 techniques to change your mindset, like Nick Trenton. So far, science and habits are spot on for me. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, by the way. Appreciate that.
So one of my favorite books, because you asked about books, I am a huge James Clear fan. Atomic Habits is incredible. He talks about how to be consistent and how to make consistency and habit it's interchangeable. It's the same thing. If you want to be consistent in something, it becomes a habit. A habit is consistency, right? And so his book on Atomic Habits is incredible, and all of my clients read it. Every single one of my clients read
Atomic Habits is powerful.
It's incredible.
Powerful. I don't want to get too lost into this, but here's one of the things is we'll do is maybe when we boot the repost, you and I can talk offline, but I want to give you guys really some resources to get into this. And as you get into step 4 and 5 or tip 4 and 5, I really want to put this out to you guys. Understand this. Pick one thing. One. And keep it super simple.
I had a business coach, Rico, that told me once, because you and I were big idea people. We got lots of ideas.
Yeah, we can spend all day just on ideas and vision and get lost there.
And this is what he told me. Pick one. Kill the babies. I was like, whoa, what? Yeah. He said,
okay.
I got all these brain babies. I got all these thoughts, all of these ideas. And he's like, pick one, kill the other babies. I was like,
you know what? That makes so much sense though.
Yeah.
It really does. It makes a lot of sense because we can get lost in it. And one of the, so I'm going to drop this. So if you're like us, do you have I don't know what I would call it, but it's kind of like an idea bank.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've found the use of notes, and I started realizing I could talk to SIRI. I'm not going to say her name because everything in here is going to turn on.
She talks back.
Because she talks back. But using that as, hey, so-and-so, why don't you drop this note? And so I started realizing that when I just start collecting my thoughts, I don't lose them. And then I can always come back to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so this is a little tip that if you're like us and you're always having different thoughts and you don't know what to work on, pick one.
Yeah. So that would be cleaning up the living room of your brain, right?
Okay.
Thoughts, ideas, that's like dirty socks on the floor, the pillow on the ground, the blanket disheveled, the dishes in the living room. That's what I'm talking about. If you are trying to stay focused, if that's something you want to be consistent on, is staying focused on the task, you got to clean up the clutter in your brain, in the living room of your brain, right? And one of the other things, this goes right into topic 4, right? Into topic 4 is the environment creates or takes away from your consistency. And I want you guys to have this visual. Your eyeballs and your ears are the gateway to your consistency. So what you see becomes a product of your environment and your consistency. What you hear becomes what you do and what you believe about yourself. And that all dictates your consistency. My mom told me one time, this was like 5 or 6 years ago when she was trying to be consistent in her health and weight loss. She said, when I'm with you and I spend the weekends with you, it is so easy for me to eat well, to move my body, to be excited to go do things and to have high energy. And when I'm not with you, I really struggle with making good choices, having a good attitude, and having energy and wanting to move my body.
Sure.
We are a product of our environment. If you do not like the consistency in your world, the first place I would look is, what do I see consistently on a daily basis? And what do I allow myself to hear and listen? This is the gateway. I just knocked my cool hat. Our ears and our eyeballs.
Go ahead.
I just knocked my new hat. That is the gateway into our consistency. Almost always we can find where we're falling out of consistency by what we visually see and what we are hearing in our own world. And so I'm going to encourage all of you to clean up not only your mental environment, but to clean up your exterior environment. So what does that mean? Who are you hanging out with? Do those people, are they leveling up?
Mm-hmm.
That consistency it's going to impact your consistency if they are not the people headed in the direction that you want your consistency to head into. Podcasts, what are you listening to? Music, what are you
are you listening to podcasts?
Are you listening to podcasts?
Are you reading a book? Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things I have found is and I've done this very proud, quite well, no matter what, I'm putting in 15 minutes in spiritual building. So I'm getting at least my devotional time in. And I have a reading version of it. I don't always get to that.
Yeah.
But the audio, I used to jam on the way to work. But I have now made it a point that no matter what, I use that time to listen to my daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm getting my spiritual element in. If it's just that,
yeah, absolutely.
It's better than not doing anything.
Yeah. And so one of my favorite tools that James Clear uses, Rigo, for that, because I'll be honest with you, I want to spend quiet time, spiritual time in the morning.
Oh God, I would love like nothing but.
Me too. But sometimes I wake up and I have 43 text messages and the emails, and my urge is to go straight into that and to ignore my quiet time. But James Clear talks about creating buy-in. This is one of my favorite things to use with my clients, creating buy-in. So do you know what is the only thing I wake up thinking about in the morning?
I don't.
Coffee.
But are you going to tell me?
It is coffee. The only thing that I think about when I wake up is that first yummy, warm sip of coffee. That's it. And so here's my buy-in. Before I can wrap my lips around my cup, which I want to so bad, I have to turn on and engage in my spiritual quiet time.
So you're making the coffee the reward.
Yes. For
what it is that you're making yourself do first.
Yes. What I will easily bypass when when anything distracts me from what I want to be consistent in, which is almost always quiet time in the morning. That's what I want first. I want to fill myself up first. And the only thing I really, really, really want to do is drink my coffee. I will not allow myself to have a sip of coffee until my quiet time is opened or I pop it in my ears because it looks different for me every morning. Then I may have my sip of coffy. If I don't do it, guess what? No coffee. Sometimes I've gone till noon and I'm like, oh, dude,
that's such a huge piece. I was in this interview that I was watching last night. This podcast, I'm going to find his name. Listen, I didn't plan on talking about this particular super doctor and all of his stuff that he's working on and the amazing stuff this guy's doing. You guys probably have heard his name before, because for me, I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm like the last to know, like everybody, or anything. I mean, I'm always the last to know. I'm horrible. But anyways, he was talking about a study that they are doing at a Stanford some years back with children, and they were doing drawings and they were putting the gold stars. And it's so funny how we've been brought up in an environment where certain elements and rewards have been already built into how we respond and behave. And then we don't implement those in our adult lives. And we don't understand psychologically just how effective they are. They did this with the children, and they would draw and they would give them little gold stars. And then they stopped giving them gold stars. Guess what the kids stopped doing?
Yeah.
They stopped drawing. They stopped coloring. They stopped engaging, because they weren't getting this little reward. Okay. And so this reward is important. And so when you get into this environment, would you say that part of that is ensuring that you are getting these buy-ins and creating small, tiny elements of rewards for each time an activity is accomplished?
Absolutely. So that's tip number 5.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. It's a beautiful.
Okay, good lead in. All right. This wasn't on purpose. It wasn't on purpose.
5 is reward. Here's the thing, and this is something I want you guys to remember. What we celebrate, we replicate. So we have to take the time. I encourage everyone, not just my clients, I encourage everyone to notice the teeny tiny little 1% changes that you're making, that you're being consistent in. I encourage you to celebrate the crap out of them. This all goes full circle, right? That is a thought that we want in the living room of our mind. I am good. I am strong. I am healthy. I'm putting in the work. These are things that we want to hear, and we want to reward ourselves with positive thoughts. What I encourage people not to do when it comes to reward is, if you are trying to eat healthy, do not reward yourself
with an Oreo.
Food. Right.
No Oreos?
Yourself with food. If you are, listen, I have clients that tell me, I'm not going to drink for 30 days. What's your reward going to be? I'm going to go on a girls' trip to a winery. Wait, what? Like, what? A girls' trip? Sure. Cool. How about a shopping trip? Or reward yourself with a thing that is not the thing that pulls you backwards, right? So in your consistency, that will interrupt your consistency. So celebrate what we want to replicate. And if you're going to do a reward that is not the same as what you are trying to be consistent in.
Say that again. Celebrate
what you want to replicate. Right?
It makes sense. I just want everyone else to hear it. I mean, you guys, it's not just a catchy phrase. It rhymes and it's cool.
It is. It does.
It is. And you're kind of good with that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
You come up with catchy phrases all the time.
You know why? Because I have a very bad memory, Rigo. This is my tool and my trick to be consistent and positive.
Give me, what else do you do? Like, what else? Like, how do you, come on. I know you got more. Come on.
It's got a rhyme.
How did you tell yourself to buy a cheap hat at Mexico? Was there a rhyme for that? Or
yes, it was.
I love the hat. I love that. You called it a cheap hat. I didn't call it a cheap.
Oh, it was $10.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Celebrate what you want to replicate.
Yes.
It makes so much sense.
Celebrate it. Listen, you know what? When a mama calls me, Rigo, and she text message me and she says, "Hey, I woke up this morning and I felt happy. I didn't feel bogged down." I'm like, girl, go to the mirror right now, high five yourself and tell you did that. You did that. That's a reward. That is celebrating what we want to replicate. How many times have you done that? I can guarantee you it's rare, because we get out of the habit. When our kids do something good, little things. Oh, you poo-pooed on the toilet. Yeah! Right? Like, we reward them with words and with
I did that for Donnie actually the other day. I was like, good job, Don.
I'm so proud of you. Why do we not give ourselves that feedback? We have an inner child. That inner child wants to be celebrated, and you should celebrate that inner child every little thing that she does, right? What we do instead is we beat ourselves up. And guess what beating yourself up does? It is like, it's what severs your consistency in whatever you're trying to do. Because you go, well, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I suck. It's not for me. Everybody else can be consistent in this but me. And then we have a pity party, and then we fall off the track for 3 months, gain more weight, and we have to start all back over.
Well, and I think another element here is, going back to what Simon, I always get confused with his last name. It's really not that hard. Sinek, right?
It's a hard one.
It's not.
For me, it is.
It's hard for me.
It's like
okay, so I'm not the only one. Okay. No. It's not about the events. It's not about the intensity. It's about the consistency. Yep. To me, this is what that means when I hear that. Okay. The falls are going to happen. Like, that's just it. The falls are going to happen. So when you look at them as a loss, like, oh man, I messed up, that shouldn't be what you're concerned with. And in going back to what you said, that I think if there is anything, the most powerful thing I heard today, and even what we were working on, is what you dropped right in the beginning, that talks in terms that consistency is the number one way to replace or heal or repair the loss of trust. So if you think about this, if I have failed in a diet plan, this is a great example to use because everybody, almost everybody, unless you're that jerk that can eat whatever you want and never gain a pound. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, if you're that guy, then this isn't for you. But when you look at it, you lose trust in yourself. This isn't just in other relationships, but what a way to look at something. Whether you are, so if you're serving a consumer base, you're working with customers, you can easily lose trust with a customer base, and you feel like I'm giving up. I'm just gonna go after a different customer. I'm gonna make changes, and maybe you're doing the right things, but you've made some damages. This is in a relationship. This is in a marriage. This is in a friendship. This is in anything. It's easy to recognize, okay, that makes sense. I can be consistent, and I will be able to gain, or at least rebuild the opportunity to gain that trust back through consistency. But really, if you think through this, Krista, this gets even deeper, because what we don't pay attention to is we lose trust in ourselves.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's almost like, when we become consistent and we learn to build those small elements, we can gain that back with ourselves first.
It needs to be with ourselves first.
Right. And when we can earn that back in our own heart and our mind, and in our self, now we start to believe in ourselves again. We start to believe that we can make these things happen. And so when we say, I'm not going to do something, we work so hard to earn that trust back in ourselves that now our choices and our consistency become stronger because we're not worried about, okay, I made a mistake. Yep. I got Oreos. I meant to eat one. They're so delicious, and they fit in your mouth, just one of them. So it's easy.
Yeah.
But you know what? Okay, that was dumb. I may have lost some ground, but if I don't do anything the next 4 days, I've lost way more ground. Versus I'm going to pick right back up where I left off. And, this goes into the whole aspect of that compounding theory of understanding. We've all heard the story. I'm going to give you a penny today. I'm going to double it. I'm going to double it and do all this stuff. And by the time you get to day 29, and this is where people, I believe, where we make the biggest mistakes is we're not recognizing that consistency is a process over time. There is just some things in life, you guys, we cannot rush. But if you're looking to hit levels of success, what a great way, first off, to pick one area and get into it. So let's go over it again, Donnie. Number one, make it easy and repeatable. Number two, plan. So use technology, use whatever it is that's going to get you focused in it. Number three, mindset. Number four, environment. And number five, reward or celebrate what you want to replicate. Like the great Krista Moreland says.
And so here's a really cool thing about consistency as well, right? So when we are consistent, it allows us to take bigger risks because we trust ourselves, right? So a lot of my clients, they recluse and they pull back and they don't show up like they want to in their world. And I know we've all heard this saying that hurt people. And this is why it's important for you to be consistent with yourself first before you're consistent with other outward things that you, that are bigger than you. Okay. Is because when you fill your cup, and when you're consistent and you're taking care of all of these things within yourself first, and you repair consistency and trust within yourself, then it goes out into the world. But when you are hurt and you are struggling, you can only fake it outward into the world. And that consistency will never last. The consistency will break that what you're trying to put out. It will break because inside you don't believe that for yourself. And it's not something, it's not a core value for you, because the trust has been broken within you. And there's so many different circles and things that we can talk about. And I don't want to get too distracted, but people who are consistent are good to other people because they have that trust built within themselves. They can rely on themselves because they have built the trust back in consistency. And that's why we see so many successful people impacting other people because they have that energy and they have that framework, that plan, that environment to inspire and impact other people to step up and do better as well. If they are empty and they don't believe that at their core, they won't be able to be consistent enough to impact other people. It will break, right? That consistency will break.
What a great conversation today.
It's one of the hardest and one of the most simple things that we can do. It really is the root of repairing a lot of hurt and a lot of stress and overwhelm and anxiety in a business, in a marriage, in yourself, is repairing that trust within yourself equals consistency, and consistency will flow out from that in all different areas, but it has to start there. It has to start within.
Yeah, it has to start at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. And then it can go from there. But so this is, listen, what do you guys think? You like the conversation? What do you think about Chris's hat?
That's amazing. So
yeah. What's that?
She's digging it. She says amazing.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Leah. Appreciate it. And what do you think about Chris's hat? I want to know what you guys think. I think it's pretty dope. You can tell that
And
I grew up in like the early 90s because I used the word dope. Right?
Yes,
Pretty
Victor,
dope.
yes.
Her hat's pretty dope. Look, I like both your hats. Thanks, Alexander.
Yes.
I appreciate it. It's Isaac. I've known Isaac for a long time, and I don't know why I decided to call him Alexander today. Yeah, I know. I was like, why am I doing this?
He's in trouble. You're in trouble.
Anyways, hey, we appreciate it. Listen, all right. If this is your first time here to Lunch Talk, we appreciate it. If it's not your first, second, third, fourth, listen, I am really pumped about what we got going on. And I want you guys to understand something. Number one, okay, you need to follow both Chris and I.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number two, you need to be getting onto our YouTube channel and you need to subscribe and click the notification bell. That is MW Partners. Reason why is we're filling that channel full of a bunch of videos as we're building out and building up our Contagious Leadership series. This is something that Krista and I are passionate about and doing together because we want to bring not only ways that are going to help us become better, but help you become better in any area of your life. We are not perfect. Mm-mm. We are far from it. We're not claiming to be the experts. We are seeking, searching, and finding ways to strengthen each other. And when you build a community of like-minded principles and concepts, this is how we get better. You know, number 4 was that environment. This is the kind of things that you should be getting involved in. This should be, I mean, and I'm not saying you should watch the show because it's our show, but seriously, like, we bring as much value as we can to this for you. So I hope you find shows like this and other shows like this, get them into your routine during the week, learn and soak up this information and let us know what you think. We want to bring more for you. So number one, if you want to know more about this, follow us, get in. Also, you can join our community by texting, what do we do now? Lunch, #lunch for this show. And that's 316-799-8052, 316-799-8052. I promise you, we do not use this for any other notifications than when we go live or when we have new material that you can get. And all of this is free stuff. Okay. Yep. We make everything available for free. Both Krista and I have businesses that teach, train, and implement processes for people to become better, build programs, and help others. That's what we do. But this show is purely about giving you value because it gives us value. Okay. So we're strengthening you so that it strengthens us. So we're happy to be here and we're really glad that you're here. It means everything to us. So please, every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central, no matter what, we're going to be here. Now, we're not always going to be here together because Krista likes to go on vacays like a lot now.
It's my new thing.
Whatever.
You know, Rigo, one last point that I want to make about what you just said is we are not the experts. Any of this information, like you said, is environmental. It's what other people have poured into me. And I know that your heart, your motivation, your heart is whatever people have poured into you, you want to give back, turn around and pour into other people. And so that's one of the reasons why I love hopping on the show. And I love seeing, Lunch Talk people show up, is that they want to be poured into, and I'm ready to give you whatever I've been given. And I know that you then in turn around and give into the people around you as well. And that's how iron sharpens iron. And that is one of the best things about living in 2022 is technology and the ability for us to do this.
Yes. All right. So listen, we're going to be bringing our series that's going to be starting next week. Okay. Yeah. We've got an amazing, listen, you do not want to miss next week. I promise you. Yeah. You do not want to miss it. Are you here next week?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Yes. I'm like, Krista, you do not want to miss next week. I promise you, we're going to be getting into a concept of mindset shift and change in regards to time.
Oh,
okay. This is still a theory I cannot wrap my head around, but just the little bit I have has been massively.
Einstein time?
What was that?
Are you talking about Einstein time?
I'm not going to spoil it, but let me just tell you this. This is a man I've known for years. He has changed many people's lives. He's a powerful coach. He has a powerful story. You do not want to miss next week. Okay. We will be dropping that in the next 24 hours. So you guys can start signing up to make sure you don't miss it. After that, it continues. We're going to be going down for the next few weeks of just amazing guests that are going to be specific on some of these things that we've talked about today, but we're going to be spending time on 1 to 2 core areas that are going to be building this entire leadership series in getting effective tools that you need to grow yourself as a better leader and grow your team in regards to building your business or your focus for Q2. Listen, I want you guys to hit the same level of success that we're looking to achieve or that we have achieved in other areas. And you know what? We've had an amazing, crazy couple years. You can take it as negative, or you can look at the amazing opportunities that have been developed and given to us through one of the worst times that our country has gone through, and many other countries, with this crazy pandemic. It is time for us to have this mindset shift, emotional shift, you name it, and let's take it back. That's where I'm ready to go. Like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm ready to take it back, and let's get in with fire. So you don't want to miss the next couple weeks. You can tell I'm not calling it anything yet because I haven't quite figured out the name, but it is going to be a series. Okay. I promise you. Krista, you got anything?
That's it, friends. So good.
All right, guys. Listen, thank you so much for being here. We love you and appreciate you. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Donnie. Do not forget, please go onto our YouTube page and subscribe. We want to push this and get it out there and let people know and get it growing. So, all right, guys. Talk to you guys later. Donnie, thank you very much. Krista, always a pleasure. Thank you very much, ma'am. I will see you guys next Thursday right here, 1 p.m., LinkedIn, YouTube, all of them. God bless. Take care. Talk to you soon.